what we do is we produce television shows. I'm also an entrepreneur, so I run a few other businesses, including a club up the road called Number 7. Some of our TV shows are Young Rich, which was our first TV show on K24. We have Get in the Kitchen, we have Foods of Kenya, we have Story Yangu, we have our Perfect Wedding, our 5th anniversary, some of those are Showmax. We have a few celebrity reality shows. We have Big Bahati, Miss Bahati, and Diana, I had someone mention him as your favorite influencer earlier. We have Soul Family, Sauti Soul, we have Kialo Culture with Betty Chandler and the Sisters, we have This Love with our wedding neighbors. I could list them on and on. We have TV shows across all the different major broadcasters. As Nikki mentioned, I started out as a boom singer and an extra on movie sets. Extras are the guys who fill the background, and the boom singer is the guy who holds that thing called Day. And I started very early at the age of about 17, and I've been running my company. I've been in television and film now for about 13 years, and I've been running my company for 10 years next year. So, one of the questions that I heard you guys ask earlier is, a lot of people who train in media don't end up working in media. That's not the case for me. I actually went to school and studied television production at USIU with a major in television and minor in print. The step that you guys have taken, which is to get training in your field, is extremely important, because it doesn't matter what capacity you enter the market in, the basics that you've learned here in school are what you need to prosper. And often, if you're going to take a professional path, you have a much bigger advantage if you've gotten some basic training, or in your case, a bit of advanced training from a school. Because the elements that you've learned here, storytelling is the same across the board. How to set up cameras, for instance, is the same across the board. The rules of photography are the same across the board. So your education is extremely important. Perhaps to answer why, no, let me take that again. Our field is just like any other field. You find that there's a lot of people who train for something and don't end up in that market. But ours is particularly tricky because of how quickly it changes. Have you guys been seeing the firings that are happening at NTV and CNN and all the major international broadcasters as well as local ones? It's because our industry changes extremely quickly. And so it's up to you, having learned what you've learned, the amount of learning that you have to do yourself is what determines whether you succeed or not. So, the capture has given you the basics, but the next step for you now is to learn how to learn. How do you keep your knowledge of your field up to date? And you have the magic of the internet now, which a lot of people didn't have when they started out. Media, by its nature, is self-cannibalizing, which means it kills it eats itself and produces new mediums. So, for instance, this once many years ago, this cinema was probably the hottest one in Nairobi, and now you watch everything on your phone. The content doesn't change, but the medium does. So, the element of again learning how to learn and adapting quickly is what separates you, those who succeed and those who fail. Traditional media, as we know it, unfortunately, sorry to say to you, is dying. It's dying a slow death, but it will die. And by traditional media, we mean traditional radio, we mean traditional television. A lot of you probably will now consume your content from the phone. So the idea, again, is to understand that it's not media that's dying per se, it's the medium. Because the content and the entertainers will remain, but they will not be on television, they'll be on streaming services, they'll be on YouTube. So the idea there, and the trick that you have to learn, is to keep abreast of the changes in media. When I started out, we have a very small YouTube channel and I run a TV station. When we started out, YouTube was just breaking out, and we didn't invest much in it. We weren't amongst the first ones on YouTube. We actually try to do that now. And those who mastered YouTube early are now millionaires. I think you know some of them. Do you guys know about a gentleman called Mr. Beast in the States? Who makes about $100 million annually from just YouTube. Locally, we have very good examples, Kabiwa Jesus and Miliwa Jesus. They're also millionaires from YouTube. And you can name many of them. So the first batch of people who mastered YouTube became millionaires. The batch of people who mastered Facebook and Instagram also became millionaires. All the influencers you mentioned are all big on Instagram. They have millions of followers and they're paid millions of money to push content on Instagram. Now we have TikTok, and TikTok is about to make some millionaires. I think it already has. Azia became big from TikTok, yes? So the lesson there is you must constantly have your eye out on what medium is coming up next and stay abreast. Because media is now entirely about technology, and early adapters are rewarded in a big way. So you must have your ear out and just try to see what medium is coming out and leverage to get in early and try and master it as quickly as possible. And here the internet again is your friend, because a lot of this stuff you can learn from YouTube. I learned a lot of my basic initial bits on how to make television from YouTube. It's you Google how to edit like this, you see a trick somewhere else and you go on YouTube and learn it there. Now, the power of the internet is such that people are now becoming stars for all kinds of things. Have you noticed? Some people are cooking and they're becoming stars. Have you seen it? Others are singing and they're becoming stars. Others are dancing and they're becoming stars. There's even people who are stars because they're on YouTube watching, reaction videos of themselves watching other things. You can become a star for all kinds of things on social media right now, but you need to invest the effort. And that's the age we're going into, because marketing, a lot of media is driven by advertising, at least big media. And advertising now is targeting individual content creators. So if you haven't, now is the time to invest a lot of time and effort into social media. And also, again, as I mentioned earlier, keep abreast with what is coming, any new mediums, and be an early adopter.